I thought we'd take a look today at how I go about putting the back on. There's nothing particularly spectacular about putting a back on, but it's a little bit different from the way it's usually done. I don't use the big jigs and things that most people use. Fletter used to, this is based incidentally on a guitar by the great Ignacio Fletter. He used to build his guitars, construct them around an inner jig, much like a violin maker would do. I've adapted that to this type of system, which tends to suit me better. So basically, because I don't have a big cumbersome jig, it makes it very easy. It's very light to maneuver, and I can work around it quite simply. Usually I would use hide glue to put the back on. Today I'm going to use Titebond because I'll probably be talking, and with hide glue, you know, you have to get on with the job a little bit quicker than you otherwise would do with the Titebond. So we're going to use Titebond today. There are 4 back bars on the Fletter style of guitar, such as we have here. This is guitar number 451. Excuse me, for those who may be interested. If we were using hide glue for this, we would certainly need all of our cramps and things laid out ready to go, because, you know, as we've already said, we don't have an excess amount of time to play with. In this instance, with the Titebond, we can be a bit more relaxed about it, which is why I'm actually using it. And generally I use hide glue for everything, but today, as I say, we'll use the Titebond for this particular job. When the back's on, of course, as you can see, the back goes on first. In this instance, being in the Fletter style, it has a dovetail neck. It's not made in the Spanish style. The top's well underway. It has the fan braces are now stuck on. They need to be whittled down to their appropriate sizes, which I should probably do tomorrow. The closing braces need to go on, and the harmonic bars need to go on, and it'll be finished. Excuse me. So then we'll put the top on, which will probably happen in about 2 days' time. So we'll start by running the glue around the edge of the linings. You don't want to put gallons of glue on these things. There's really not much point. But just a nice covering of glue all the way around. You can use your finger to spread it out with, if you like. Or just a stick like this does the job. Make sure you've got some in the notches there where the back braces are going to sit. And just make sure it's covered nicely. As I say, you don't really want an excess of glue. It's only going to squeeze out all over the place. Just a small bead like this will do us. Like so. There we go, that's sufficient. So we'll stick the back on. Important thing is to make sure, you should have done this, of course, prior to sticking it in, to make sure that it is lined up perfectly centrally in the middle of the dovetail, like so. I'll just put a couple of these Irwin clamps are fantastic for this job because they're very quick and they're very easy to apply. I I use these along with some spool clamps, which you'll see in a minute. Just make sure that's lined up nicely. And of course, we need to make sure that it's lined up well here. These points of the centre decoration on the sides and on the back obviously need to be nicely lined up. So we've got a couple of these curling clamps on it that should hold it nicely. I also use the O-ends around the waist. Again, they're very efficient, they're very quick. So for the rest of it, I'll use spool clamps, which I'll show you. You can buy the spool clamps if you wish. I made them myself. They're pretty simple to make. There we have it. It's just a handle of some sort, a bit of thread, with a couple of blocks with some cork on them so as they don't damage the wood, and they go on like so. Don't need to be done up super tight. If the back fits properly, then we don't need to squeeze all the glue out of it. As I said before, if we were using high glue for this, these clamps would all be laid out in their order, so as we wouldn't have to waste too much time sorting them out. There are many ways you can do this. You can wrap the thing in string, elastic bands, all sorts of techniques. But I find these spool clamps work really well for what I'm trying to do. That's the spool clamps. Then I like to move them over there a little bit, like so. Make a bit of space because I'm going to put a bigger clamp in there. Now one thing you must remember to do is to turn it upside down. That allows allows the glue not to run down the sides of the guitar. There's always going to be a certain amount of glue that squeezes out, and we don't really want that running down the sides because it's a little bit difficult to remove. So I just put a couple of these clamps in the over the blocks like so, just to make sure that they're well down. These are really good because you can do them very tightly. And then maybe another one down this end. Like so, and the job's done. We now leave it for, or I won't disturb it now. Let me see, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, so I probably won't disturb it till tomorrow morning. You can see the glue here squeezing out under the joint. It will be doing that on the inside, so as I said, we need to turn the thing upside down so as that glue doesn't run down the sides on the inside. We also don't particularly want it running down the sides on the outside, but that would be more easily removed.